Hi everyone, welcome to the Damage Undone reviews, or well, it's not so much a review, just my opinion on these two guns. And my opinion today is on the SATA Mini Jet. Well, not SATA Mini Jet, SATA Jet 1500B. Sorry, that's a different gun. These guns are SATA's entry level or mid level, depending on who you speak to guns. So they're very economical. And they're quite surprising. I call them, as you can see, the good, the bad, and the clunky. So before we move on to the good and the bad, let's discuss the clunky. And the reason I call these guns clunky is because they reminded me of my, and it's a term of endearment, not negativity, but they reminded me of my dad's old Mercedes, which was an automatic Mercedes that he had, and we absolutely loved the car. And when I first managed to be given the keys to drive it, oh God, I was over the moon. And I'm digressing now. So that's why I call them clunky, because it reminded me of this car. That Mercedes-Benz was a quality car. It was built well. It felt solid. You felt safe in it. But it also had a kind of clunkiness to it. And it's quite difficult for me to describe. But when I opened these guns up and I took them out of their box, it's exactly how I felt. I felt the same way about this gun. It felt heavy. It felt solid. It felt clunky. It felt German engineering with regards to just, you felt like it could perform. And it has. So that explains the clunky. The bad. There's no bad really as such with this, other than they are big, heavy guns. So as a smart repairer, it's not something that I would probably have entertained had I not been given this opportunity. I probably wouldn't use it as a base gun myself because they are that much bigger and I like a smaller gun for applying my base. However, when I do a bigger job, and I've used the HVLP on the bigger jobs, on the whole bumpers and large areas into panels, it's actually performed really well. So it's a bad, but it's only a small bad, and that's just down to the weight. And I think SATA would agree with that as well. So the good. Now the good is good. For an entry-level gun, for a big heavy gun, for a SATA, you would expect something good out of it. And you definitely get something good out of it. Because even though it is, like I said, and I'm saying it again, I know a heavy, big gun, and it's big, you can see it in my hand. It's almost a 3 trigger pull, maybe 2 finger trigger pull. It works really well, and I've kind of lost what I was saying there because I got carried away pulling the trigger. Yeah, back to the gun. So you'd think it has got a little bit of a recoil on it, which you'll see in a moment, and I find that quite surprising. But I absolutely love reaching for this gun for clear coat. I mean, it's for a gun that's valued at this, and they're not, they're saying it's just their entry-level gun. It's really good. And I have a large selection of guns. I have my favorite guns, and you will have seen me posting them, and majority of my videos will be using those favorite guns. But over the period of time that I've had this SATA, I have found myself reaching for this for my clear coat finishes. And every single clear coat finish has been really good. Has been how I would want it. Is when I watch you guys do your videos and you get these super gun finishes, I'm getting that from this gun. And that's reassuring from something that's not supposed to be their prestige model. So I can only imagine what their prestige model is like. It has a really good fan width, as you'll see. It lays the clear down really nicely. I've had no issues with any of that. The only thing I would say is I've had a couple of runs, but that's not down to the gun, that's down to me. Something I've had to sort of come to terms with and understand a little bit better is quantities of paint being used. Now, I said to Sonny that these guns were thirsty on air, thirsty on paint. Sonny is the paint and body guru. I have to retract that statement because I've tried to, since I said to him, I've tried to understand these guns better. And so I retract that statement now because I do actually think, apart from talking about the base coat is good, but so the HVLP is good on base, but the RP is amazing. And so I've been mixing up my clear coat as I would normally mix it with any other gun or my favorite guns that I use. And I find that I'm actually not using all my clear. So I've always got a little bit clearer left in my pot. So I'm having to readjust my quantities that I'd normally mix up, which is good because that's a saving. So I'm not only am I getting a really nice finish on the jobs, but I'm also saving on, well, I will be saving on clear coat when I realize how much I need to do and make the adjustments and don't overmix. That's good. It works well with the RPS pots. Am I a fan of RPS pots? I'm not so sure. They are unique. You've got to remember to use this little air vent at the top here, seal it. Don't turn it upside down unless it's sealed. Open it up when you use it. So there's a couple of quirky things on there. Other than that, it works well because they just literally slide in, quick change over. Easy to clean, not had any issues with that. Easy to maintain. Yeah, certainly one worth considering if you are looking for a decent entry-level gun. I don't think you'd be unhappy with that. So that's the SATA 1500, SATA JET 1500 HVLP and RP. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it useful. If you've got any questions, you're more than welcome to send them over. If you've got your own view on these guns, whack it down in the comments because your view is as justified as anybody else's view. And also, if you have got some questions, don't be afraid to ask them because there is no question that's a stupid question. It's only a stupid question if you don't ask it because then you'll never know the answer on it. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for following me and thank you to SATA for giving me this opportunity. Have a great one. I want to finish this video just by saying that I had actually fallen out of love with SATA guns. Probably about 15 years ago when I got my last Mini Jet 3000. And I just thought they were really expensive. And I looked at other comparisons of guns and I thought there were better guns on the market. But I think also a lot of that probably comes down to lack of knowledge, lack of experience, understanding, and also poor maintenance of the guns that I had, thinking that I was blaming the product instead of the user, myself, for not looking after them and taking care of them better. So my mind has changed on how I feel about this, and I can totally understand now why SATA have such a strong following and so many people that love them, and there is no other product better than a SATA the way they feel. I can totally understand that. So I would like to give a special thanks to SATA for not only allowing me the opportunity to review these products and test them, but also the opportunity to fall back in love with a product that I probably unrightly so disregarded because of my lack of experience and knowledge. So thank you very much for that, and I hope you found this review useful.